Hi, my name is Adrian Foste, and I am a fashion designer and artist, and this is who I am.
Welcome to Point of Focus, our segment, This is Who I Am. Today we have a very interesting young man we're going to be interviewing by the name of Mr. Adrian Foste. Not only a fashion designer, but fashion artist. Let's get to know more about him. Thank you, Adrian, so much for having us here today.
Yes, it's a pleasure of mine.
Yes, so I want to get right into it. I'm so loving the work that you're doing in terms of your fashion designing. So tell me more of what interested or piqued your interest to be a fashion designer.
I started off as normal child's play, but being a teenager, I was introduced by a family friend who got me into designing, amateur designing, I should say. Okay. But it really blossomed when I had more understanding from reading magazines and doing research and really figuring out that it's actually a career path and I could study fashion.
And at what age were you when you...
I was 16, 17. Yes.
Wow. So at the age of 17, did you attend a fashion school?
I didn't. I researched and found out there were many fashion schools abroad, but obviously it was really expensive. So I almost turned down fashion design, and I knew that my parents couldn't afford it and couldn't afford me moving to the States at that age to study fashion. But soon after finishing CXC, the University of Trinidad and Tobago launched the fashion program. So immediately
so it worked in your favor?
It worked in my favor. So everything happened in its time,
yeah.
And that's when I officially started my career in fashion.
Wow, that's really amazing as a young man. So were you swayed into pursuing another career?
Since then, no, I've been really pushing the fashion design career.
And what about support? Did you have the support that you needed to become a fashion
Lots
designer?
of support from my family and from my friends, seeing that I had this sketching ability and a passion for it. Yes. My family saw the potential, and I really, pushed that idea and pushed my whole efforts and everything into study fashion design.
So let's talk a little more of some of the ups and downs you may have had. Let's talk of the downs. You as a young man bred up in such a society. And of course, there are all different sorts of career paths you could have chosen. There may be friends as well. You have the engineers. Your friends, of course, may have encouraged you to pursue that path. And you as a young man, how did that affect you?
I'm lucky enough to say that I didn't have parents who really pushed me to doing something that they prefer for me to do. It really started off as they observing me and observing things that I would do as a young child, and really just allowing me to be experimental, allowing me to be creative in my own space and to be myself. So I'm very fortunate to have family and friends who supported my dreams and my goals and the way how I choose to live my life.
Has this always been a passion of yours?
It has always been from a child until now. It still is. I still have the drive that I had back then, and even it has increased. So I feel very comfortable persuaded, and really pushing my dreams.
So let's talk more about your work. What really inspires you to, create and design these type of outfits that you do?
It really, in my inspiration, I draw mainly from my clients. I tend to think about their lifestyle and what they need in clothing, because I see clothing as an extension of their personalities, about their day-to-day lifestyle. So obviously they need clothes to kind of, translate into that. So most of my inspiration comes from who my target market is and their lifestyle.
And do you have signature pieces?
I do. This is one of it.
This is very lovely.
It is. It's a piece that was inspired by a basic shirt, and I call it my versatile shirt dress because it can be styled about 4 different ways.
Really?
So
this is just one.
This is just one way of styling it, and you could really wrap the ties around, so it cinches the waist, so it becomes a shirt dress, or you could pull the fullness to the back, so it looks actually as if you're wearing a male shirt.
Oh, that's very interesting.
I try to create pieces that are very versatile.
And I saw that there are pockets
as well, so it becomes a very versatile piece. Because I want my clients to get good quality and good wearability out of my clothing. Yes. So I try to think of it as, having different ways to wear the piece other than just buying a piece for a particular event and you put it in your closet and you never wear it until after a few months.
great. And I saw this pants that you're wearing.
Yes.
Really nice.
It's an interesting
sort of
pants.
design. Yes,
Most of
very
my
good.
signatures are wrap details because it's very easy to wear and just you tie and then that's it.
So is there a fashion designer that you take pattern after?
Locally, mailing has been a great influential, but I have a lot of international designers as well, mainly young designers who have just started their career and had these huge opportunities. For instance, Oliver Roustan, he's from Paris and he's the creative director for the fashion brand Balmain. And there are other designers that I look up to like Philip and Lim. These guys, Osborne and Maurice they're from, I forget the name of the brand, but there's a lot of designers that I really look up to based on similar aesthetics or just the idea behind their brand and seeing myself being an international brand.
And what would you say to our viewers, for our young persons who are upcoming fashion designers or maybe thinking of pursuing this career? What advice or words of inspiration you will give them?
I would say to really stand true to what you believe in. If there's a certain thing that you like, really, prove it to yourself that you can do it and prove it to your family and friends. And once you like it and you enjoy what you do, eventually you're going to get the support just as I did. So just really go out there and don't be afraid to be experimental, and the rest is history.
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
Adrian, thank you so much for having me today. It was really great seeing your work
Of course,
and some of the things that you're doing. And I saw that you also won awards.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about those awards you won.
Since during CFD, I won awards such as Most Promising Designer and my thesis fashion show. I've won the UTT Entrepreneur of the Year award.
Oh, that's very.
I was nominated by the Ministry of Gender, Youth and Child Development for Entrepreneur and Innovation Award. And I've traveled with UTT to England, where I represented Trinidad and Tobago at the International Fashion Showcase.
Right.
And then I launched my first, I premiered at my first international fashion show in New York during New York Fashion Week. So it keeps coming. Yes,
and that's great.
And it's really creating awareness for my brand. So.
That's great. And for a young man as yourself, I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
And a few years from now, I may need your autograph. So you've been watching Point of Focus. This is Who I Am with Mr. Adrian Foste.